Today, we continue to try to explain what led to the filing of a slander defamation of character lawsuit by Valerie Fenske, Lake Havasu City's Administrative Services Director, and why you should care. We'll get to that part of the story in just a minute. But first, Fenske alleges that former finance manager Sharon Lawrence damaged her reputation in a resignation letter that references a rumored romantic relationship between Fenske and an unnamed city official in an anonymous letter sent to the mayor and city council. Defendant Bart Wagner is the former parks manager for the city of Lake Havasu. He is said to have made untrue statements and allegations of a sexual nature against Fenske in a complaint to city officials about the same time. That anonymous letter arrived in the mail on June 7th of last year. That same day, according to documents in our possession, City Manager Charlie Cassens was made aware of that letter. He then collected several unopened copies from 3 city council members and at least 1 opened copy. Those documents came into the possession of Police Chief Dan Doyle. 3 days later, on June 10th, Chief Doyle briefed Sergeant Troy Sterling of the Professional Standards Bureau. Sergeant Sterling also serves as the Public Information Officer for the Lake Havasu Police Department. Sergeant Sterling was designated as the investigator in charge of finding out who sent that anonymous letter. Sterling then began to conduct a series of interviews with at least 15 city employees working in various departments around the city, and one person outside City Hall who was thought to have knowledge in this matter. Some of those interview leads coming from Valerie Fenske. Fenske and City Manager Charlie Cassens were both interviewed by Sergeant Sterling. Both denied the allegations of an affair or a relationship of any kind. Cassens found the arrival of the letter curious, as it came just before his performance evaluation by Lake Havasu City Council. Fenske was documented by Sergeant Sterling as being angry about these accusations. Several of the people interviewed stated they hadn't seen the letter. Others stated they had seen it, but none presented any information at all as to who might have written the thing. On June 11th, Sergeant Sterling submitted the letters and envelopes to the State Police Crime Lab for fingerprint analysis. No usable fingerprints were found on the envelopes or the letters. And finally, on June 25th of last year, an offense report submitted by Sergeant Sterling concluded, quote, "There is no crime involved in this situation." Now, we've asked City Manager Cassens and Police Chief Doyle for on-camera interviews to clarify the purpose and justification of this investigation. His reply was that no city staff would be permitted to be interviewed by HVN. The statement, quote, "There is no crime at this time," end quote, seems pretty obvious, even from the outset. The use of police personnel and the State Police Crime Lab to try to find the source of a he said, she said letter is frankly disturbing. Someone authorized and approved what appears to be a manhunt for someone who wrote an unkind letter. Are city officials empowered to use the police department to hunt down their personal or political enemies? Is the police department free to refuse to conduct such an investigation where no crime has been committed and no threats have been made to or about anyone? Shouldn't someone have just said, "No, that's not our job"? Well, one person did ask, why? We'll share that part of this story in our next report. Jim Matthews, Havasu Video News.